1981. Pregnancy, birth, and developmental history were all normal. Amanda has no allergies, and no unusual cognitive problems were noted in early childhood. Since the age of 12, I have struggled with my mental health. I remember asking my mom one day years ago if hearing things in my head was normal, and her response still sticks with me. You're too young to know what real mental health problems are. Whenever I try to reach out and ask to see someone for help, she always gave an excuse to dismiss what was going on, like I needed more sleep or I needed to stay off that phone. It was years until I was actually diagnosed with anxiety disorder. I wake up in this puddle of sweat. I have these nightmares when I get back into bed. It's like these voices, they just keep playing on repeat, and I can't get them to leave me alone. According to Oxford Dictionary, generalized anxiety disorder is defined as a disorder characterized by excessive or constant anxiety about two or more aspects of daily life. Generalized anxiety disorder affects nearly 7 million adults in the United States, and yet only 43% of these 7 million adults are receiving treatment. And although this illness may be treatable, it is uncurable. Through the prose, Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, and Little Panic by Amanda Stern, the poetry, Dear Anxiety by Clayton Jennings, and Feel Something by B. Miller, several stories from timetochange.org, and the articles Tips to Manage Anxiety and Stress and Understanding Anxiety Disorders, a program entitled Anxiety, a Fear Sentence. Because fear of the unknown can stop your life in its tracks and make the ability to move forward impossible. Amanda was referred for language and learning evaluation because of her low scores on the ERB. On February 24th, 1981, Amanda performed particularly poorly on the subtest of verbal reasoning, and there was concern about language processing problems. Sometimes I don't want to do something with people because I don't want to leave the house due to feeling too anxious. It is easy for me to be hard on myself for not being able to accomplish what I think I should be, especially the small tasks. Amanda is also reportedly terrified of tests generally. These demons keep pressing me. I swear they're the worst, but I've grown comfortable with their presence. My conscience is callous. My dreams are their playground. My thoughts are their palace. Other behavioral difficulties include a notable problem separated from her mother and a general fearfulness. Ever since I was little, I've pressed my right thumbnail into the pad of my middle finger. And so now there's this weird callus over my fingerprint. After so many years of doing this, I can open up a crack in the skin really easily. Because I just wanted to feel something real, so I can feel like a person again. I was 10 the first time I had a panic attack. It was like a punch to the stomach, and I didn't tell anyone because I was too scared about what they'd say. But I know deep down there was nothing they could do to take it away. I started calling in sick to school because I didn't feel well enough to go in. Not because I had a stomach bug or anything, but because my anxiety was so bad. I attribute Amanda's poor performance on testing to performance anxiety linked to her fear of failure and difficulty extracting meaning from silent reading material. Back then, all emotions felt like play. It was like I was experimenting with feeling rather than stuck with it. You see, true terror isn't being scared. It's not having a choice in the matter. And considering that not even my own mother would believe me, I truly felt alone in that and thought that no one would listen to me and brush me off as a liar or even a fake. You're being dramatic. Just calm down. It made it hard for me to reach out for help or take care of myself in the ways that I needed. I felt embarrassed to tell people the truth, and I would also tell myself that it wasn't anxiety. I was in denial. Anxiety disorders are serious medical conditions, just as real and just as serious as physical disorders such as heart disease or diabetes. I mean, forgive me if I fantasize about being on today. I'm an actor, got really good at being on today. But when I turn off, I go right back into the shadows. I'm in the deep end now, but I started in the shallows, and I might just drown myself in these waves. I found myself canceling plans with friends and family. I would accept an invite, and then a couple days before, I would cancel and make something up. Sometimes I wondered how my family even tolerated me, how any of them did. My conclusion is that Amanda has convinced herself that she is not smart. Her efforts are spent avoiding situations where she might be challenged and exposed for who she believes herself to be. Amanda's anxiety is so extreme, no test will adequately assess her true ability, aptitude, or level of achievement. I've spent my whole life trying to run away from that feeling. That feeling of being lonely, that feeling of being lost, that feeling of being sick when the lights turn off. And I don't want to die, but I really don't want to live like this. There would be these moments where I couldn't breathe. You see, the thing about a spiral is, if you follow it inward, it never actually ends. It just keeps tightening, infinitely. That feeling of being anxious, that feeling of screaming to God, begging him to take this. And I can't breathe, 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 I can't breathe. Recommendations are to see a child psychiatrist to treat the anxiety. I need help. Take deep breaths. Inhale and exhale slowly. Count to 10 slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, I'm moving forward out this lot. I took my bruises, I took my lumps, I fell down, but I got right back up. It's taken me years to realize that I need help, and that no one but me can choose whether or not what I am dealing with is real. That people will reach out to me if I ask for the help I dearly need. That I won't be told I'm too young, or it's because I'm tired, or because I'm on my phone too much before I go to sleep. You're doing your best. You cannot control everything. Look at you now. Now you're not laughing at me. Now who's the one who's being tortured and poked? Now who's the one who's closing every door that I want? Now who's the one watching the other burn to the ground? I think it is worthwhile remembering that yes, for me, anxiety can make the mundane tasks seem difficult. But I can feel proud that I have battled them. Don't look away from me, you better turn back around. I'm watching you and I'm stalking you too. And when you try to ruin some other kid's life, I'll be stopping you too. Mental illness can be incredibly isolating and lonely. But remember that there is always someone who cares about you. Someone who will care if you aren't there anymore. And it may not always be the person you accept. You took 16 years of my life and I can't get that back. You told me to end my life and I nearly got killed for that. You tore me down, but I bounced right back. I was lost. There are days that are better than others. Some that are worse. that you will